This is Margo. This is Margo's roadmap to success. Margo is really a wonderful puppy. She has got a lot of energy. She's a little bit standoffish when we first came in. So first thing we did was talked a little bit about body posture. I don't know if you, actually I don't think you see it from the angle. You can see the top of her. But before she had her back legs out here when she was meeting us. So remember, if you ever see her legs are not underneath her, she's leaning away, or somebody reaches to engage with her and she turns her head or lowers her head or backs away or doesn't want to look at you or rolls over and gives you her belly, those are all signs that say, I'm not comfortable meeting this person. In our society, we feel social pressure like, I used to have a Mastiff, can I say hi to your Mastiff? And she wants to go away, and we're like, oh, we feel bad. Never force your dog to do that because that will make them more nervous. So what we want to do is watch for those signs of consent. And when I want to pet a dog, I kind of go like that I don't know. I go like this, Margo. See how she leaned in? So I stopped in front and gave her the option to make the decision. If she doesn't want, she doesn't turn to, or she doesn't engage with me, I don't pet her. And because of that, that helped her feel a little bit more comfortable because I was respecting her wishes. So look for those signs of content. If you deal with somebody who wants to meet her and she's looking like that, just like, oh, we're working, we're doing some training or she's having an off day or something like that. Make a little white lie and just go do your thing. Take a mental note of what the person looked like. There might be like, maybe somebody with beard she doesn't like, or somebody's tall or whatever it is. And then you can try to come back, or if you have treats, you can ask them to give her a couple of treats, and if she won't take the treat from them, just have them drop the treat in between her and them. And if she won't do that, throw the treat behind her. Sometimes she's like, I'm uncomfortable with you this close. Well, throw a treat behind her, and then she moves away. And then she achieves a little bit of a positive experience. She feels a little bit more comfortable at that distance. And the person maybe holds out another treat. She's like, oh, I just had some of this stuff. Might come up and take it from your hand. But they should try to avoid reaching to pet her if she's like that. We want to just be very passive, let her engage with us, and do it on her pace until she shows that she's comfortable enough and doesn't turn away when we reach for her. I think in this case, the biggest thing is I think she just really is under-exercised. She's a big dog, and she's an unruly behavior. It's not really bad, but she's just probably doing the same thing she's always done as a puppy. The classic example is this. We have a little puppy, can't see because they angle, but they come up and they want to get closer, so they jump up on our shins saying, hey buddy, pet me. And they're so cute, we reach down and we pet them. Well, we're reinforcing that jumping behavior. We don't see us jumping because they're only this big. But then when they get to be this big and the paws are here, we start getting upset. We say, no, I don't want you to jump up on me. The dog's like, I've been doing this for 6 months. I'm doing the exact same thing. Suddenly you don't like it? So that's why one of the things I noticed the Guardian was doing, and she's laughing off camera right now, but one of the things the Guardian was doing, she would kind of do this. She petted a little bit when Margo would do this. That's reinforcing. Now the Guardian is doing it, just saying, I love you, sweetie, but it is reinforcing. And now even if I say, Margo, stop that, which I wouldn't do, I like this, but good attention, bad attention is the same thing. So the dog is rewarded for doing this sort of interaction, and this is pretty cute. So you just have to be mindful of what you're doing, because we are, I have a little expression I'm gonna say at the end of this video, but we are constantly training our dogs. So stay tuned and watch the end of the video, you hear the little catchphrase. But it really is appropriate. So basically, if we're mindful of how we're interacting with a dog, and we form a good behavior pattern or habit, every time we interact with our dog, it's a good positive thing. So for me, if I want to pet her and she's kind of doing stuff like unruly right now I don't like, I might kind of pantomime like I have a treat. Actually, there is a treat right here. Yes. So what did I do? I didn't make a big deal of her pawing at me or jumping, and I kind of like that. It's probably a good shot. But then I gave her something else to do and gave her a motivation to do it, and she got rewarded for doing it. So it's a good positive thing. The Guardian just reached and petted her when she did the same thing. But it's a habit. So we talked about, so I think for her, and we talked about in the petting in another video we shot, but if you're petting her and she keeps on pawing at you after you get in petting her, she's saying I have too much energy. If she's being unruly or whatever it is, or whatever term you want to use, probably ask yourself, how long has it been since she's had some exercise? So we went over a number of things that we can do. We could get a tug of a rope, now she finally found them, huh? And play tug of war with her. So play tug, 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 tug. When the energy starts getting high, grab a treat, touch her nose with the treat, and as soon as she drops, say yes, and put the treat in her mouth. So we're rewarding her for dropping the deal. Ask her to sit, give her a mark and give her a treat. Tell her to lie down, mark, and give her a treat. Do a couple of commands to kind of get her to settle down if she's too excited. Well, a lot of times you can go tug, 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 hold the treat up, and then she drops it, say yes. And then after we've done that a while, then we can go tug, 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 and when it's time, we hold the treat and say drop, and she anticipates, because we know she's probably going to do it, she drops it, we say yes and put it in. So eventually we tug, 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 drop, and she drops it, And then she freezes, waits a second. Her energy is coming down. And we say, go, tug, tug, tug. So tug of war is a great way to burn energy. On walks, sniffing is a great way to burn energy. The Guardian is a little bit cautious of taking her certain places because she's such a big dog. And so basically, what we want to do is the video that we have above will really help with that, making you more proximate and having her pay more attention to you. But you can always give her replacement behavior. So if you think she's getting excited, take her away from whatever it is. As soon as she's looking at a dog at Lowe's or whatever, touch some treats to her nose, drop them on the floor. We want to try to avoid pulling her away. But if after a while with the attention thing that you were doing, I think she'll be easier to get your attention. Drop a treat, she gets that one, drop another one this one, drop another one here, drop another one. Dog's over there. So we're leading the breadcrumbs and giving her an incentive to move away. And then when we get further away, we ask her to do some sits and some downs and things like that. We're going to eventually set up a follow-up session where we actually go around other dogs, and we're going to build on some of the things that we went over in this session, building self-control. But let me focus on one thing at a time because I'm a fart in a frying pan. So exercise. So tug of war is a good way to exercise her. Taking her out for a sniff walk and letting her sniff as much as possible, but being mindful and watching for her. Every time she looks at us, yes, and we hold that treat out. And every time she gets to the end of the rope, I want you to make that, and then hold that treat out. So as soon as she gets to the end of the rope, she hears the kiss, that causes her to turn around, and she sees we have a treat. She comes around. If you do this enough, like the other trainer that you worked with that was doing that thing with the marker word, eventually she'll get to the end of the leash and turn around and come back to you because she's become conditioned to do so. And so, you're fine. And so, so that walking is a great way to burn energy, especially with letting her sniff. We could also do some scent games. Remember, you're going to throw one treat and say search, and then when she comes back, throw two treats, 3 treats, 4 treats, and 5 treats. And eventually you come in here and your carpet here, get some Charlie bears. They're CHRLEE bears, and they're white color, so they kind of fit into here. Throw a bunch of them here. She's got to use her nose to find them because her eyes won't be able to see them. Now, when they use their nose, it's very draining of energy. Also, training is a wonderful way to drain energy. That's more mental stimulation. She likes to play, chase the ball in the backyard and play fetch in the backyard, chase the Frisbee. Do that. And then we can also get her a Kong filled with peanut butter, a lick mat. We have yogurt or peanut butter on. We could do some scent games, Google scent games. We're going to get a snuffle mat and feed her meals out of a snuffle mat and stop leaving the food out. So the food is be eaten when I'm giving it to you. Otherwise, it's not available to the next meal. She will probably go a day or two without eating because I eat when I want. It's always available. Once she realizes the kitchen's not open 24/7, that gives her a little bit more motivation. That helps. Regularity, especially for dogs that are a little bit nervous, knowing what to come and when it's coming and how it's coming gives them some confidence. And so creating structure in that way can help. So I want you to come up with whatever it is, a routine. And since there are 4 people in the house, if we can set it up where we're using a snuffle mat to feed her twice a day, and maybe taking her for instead of one 30-minute walk, 2 15-minute walks, doing scent games, doing one thing of training, doing the tug toy, so we can kind of split it up in a Kong at one point and some other stuff. We can maybe have each person, maybe 2 people do 2 things one day, and the other 2 do 1, and then we switch it the next day. Well, now she's getting 6 or 7 or 8 forms of exercise throughout the day where we're splitting the effort between a whole bunch of people. It's easier for her. And look how nice and relaxed she is now that she got that energy.
That's what I need.
And so, it's really setting the dog up for success. And also keep in mind the exercise before the activity. Exercising a dog before a walk sets them up for success. Exercising your dog before you take it to, if you want to take her to Lowe's, just to practice being in a new store, exercise her first. Don't do it too much. You just want to take off that tableau of energy, and she needs at least 10 minutes to recover. And then you get in the car and drive to Lowe's, or whatever the case may be. So if you're going to have guests come over, exercising her first. Getting the Omega Paw Tricky Trainer treat ball, filling that with kibble, and she nudges it around the room while you have guests and you're talking to your guests, and she's preoccupied getting these treats. So we're being proactive and getting her the exercise ahead of time. So instead of her coming and nudging us and jumping on us, when she's doing that, she's telling us, hopefully you have good tennis. But the idea is if we're doing this proactively, she doesn't have to come up and nudge us and jump up on us because we've already taken care of it. Now, if you're doing these things and she does that, then just stop what you're doing, ask her to sit her down so she doesn't think tackling me is a getting way to go for a walk. So ask for a sit down, then do a couple of those, and then go out for a walk or whatever the case may be. She gets excited for putting the harness on, so let's do a practice, make that an exercise as well. So grab the harness, go into one of the rooms, tell her to come in. When she comes in, I would hold the treat, let her know you have the treat, put the harness on. As soon as it's clipped, say yes and give her the treat. Maybe take a step away, tell her to sit. She sits, mark, give her the treat, then take the harness off. Go to the next room. Do this with all the rooms in your house. And after doing this for 2 or 3 days, next time maybe you hold up the harness and say, dress up, or a uniform or whatever it is. And you can even hold the harness. If this is the harness and I'm holding it like this, hold it up like this with the treat on the other side of it. She'll come and stick her head through it. Now your harness, you can unclip the way that you have it set up. This is a really good harness. But eventually you can teach her to put her head through it, or you can just teach her, we just do this exercise. We walk around the house, you put the harness on me, you say the marker word, then I get a treat, then I do something else, and then you take it off and go to the next room. We're not going for a walk afterwards. So she just helps her be nice and calm and relaxed, and we're helping her practice calming down and during an activity that normally gets her really worked up. And that's really important practice. Let me see. We also talked about incorporating some rules and structure. Rules are a nice way for a dog to kind of see us acting like a leader, and also for them to practice a little self-restraint and self-control. Not being allowed to be within 7 feet of people who are eating food. Not being allowed to be in the kitchen where we're preparing food. Having to sit before somebody opens the door, or sit before I put the harness on. Eventually sit to get allowed to on the couch. The guardian would prefer she's not on the couch, so what I would do is get a dog bed. You're going to need one for the relaxation protocol anyways. Go get that one. And so put it right there against your the glass, and make sure, I like to get one like this, like a cushion. They have a lip, it kind of looks like a couch. It's got a lip on 3 sides, but make sure it doesn't have a lot of crevices, so you throw the treat, the dog can see it pretty easily. So if you don't want that like a couch, so sit here, and as soon as the dog comes here, show you have a treat, throw it on the dog bed. As soon as she goes and licks up, mark it. As soon as she takes 1 step off, throw another one. And she takes another step off, another one, and another one. And keep throwing them on the dog bed until eventually she's just like, I'm gonna sit here. And then at that point, we throw it and then wait a second, and then wait 2 seconds, and then 3 seconds before we throw it. And gradually we work to the point where she just sits there, she's getting one every minute, once every 2 minutes, and the relaxation protocol is really gonna help with this. Same sort of thing with the bedroom. So she loves to just jump up on the bed. Well, we don't ever practice going in that room and teach her what else to do. So get a dog bed for that room as well. Go walk in there. Don't even lay on the bed at first, just walk in there. As soon as she walks in, she jumps on the bed, or she starts doing it, show you have a treat, throw it on the dog bed. Give each dog bed its unique name. So and if I'm pretty sure the dog's gonna follow me, I would say, Jamaica, as I throw it, then she runs over gets on the dog bed. I say yes when she gets there and she licks up the treats. And now I'm creating a cue to go there. So maybe a different name for the dog bed in the kitchen or in the bedroom than we have in the living room. And then so we basically practice her until the point where she just goes there on command. Then we go sit on the bed. She gets up, we throw another treat. And eventually when she's staying there, we've elongated that, then we lay down on the bed and then throw a treat. And gradually work up to that. I just worked with another client. He has a dog, and is your bed pretty high?
Fairly high.
Jumping up on the bed is a workout as well. So let her jump up on the bed and then throw the treat over there. That's kind of practicing going on the bed, so you might not want to do that, but that is a way that they wanted their dog to sleep with them. So we have the dog going up and down on and off the dog bed like 20 times, and then it gets up there, and it's staying in that same area because that's where it gets treats, and then it's tired and they can go to bed. So basically, at bedtime, making sure you're exercising her. The guardian doesn't really like her sleeping with her at first because she's kind of jimmy legs and all over the place because she's probably got too much energy. So we take her for maybe an evening nightcap walk, give her a 15-minute walk, let her come in and rest for 10 minutes, then we go in the bedroom. She doesn't have a top level of energy. Let me see, we also went over petting with a purpose and passive, pre-max, you guys understand that. So look for opportunities to use, practice that principle. Also look at practice petting with a purpose and celebrating. Yes, this is celebrating. I didn't ask her to come to me, but she did something and I wanted. So every time that she does something that you want, say your marker word and then pet her. I wouldn't give her a treat for it. If you have any, there you go. So she just jumped on the couch. So if you don't have the couch, as soon as she jumps off, don't make a big deal because then that's any attention's good attention. Throw a treat onto the dog bed. And so after a while, she's just going to kind of go to the dog bed. And then when she does, then you throw a treat for her doing the action first. Celebrating, which is what I just showed there, is when she comes to you, sits, lays down, drops something, goes to the bathroom, sits for their harness, whatever it is, we're going to say the marker word, and then we're going to pet her. Now, after a while, we're going to recognize when she's coming to me, I'm going to say, come, as she's walking. I know she's already coming to me anyways, but I'm going to say the cue beforehand. When she gets here, I say the marker word, and then I pet her and give her that reinforcement. We're going to use the watchword of celebrate. So if I'm sitting here and Margo walks up to me and I miss it, right now somebody says celebrate, I go, yes! and I turn and pet her. I don't know what I'm doing, but somebody else watched her do something that is a desirable behavior. So I just say yes, take their word for it, and just start petting the dog as fast as I can. But after a while, you want to watch for it, and you know the dog's about to SIT. You say SIT, say it, right before the dog does it, and then you mark and pet them. This is the easiest way to train them, and it's a great habit for you guys to get into because you're rewarding the things that you want. Now, she also likes to nudge and paw for attention, and it's like she is literally right now, she's like taking direction from me. This is awesome. But basically, yeah, there we go. And the guardian just did a great job of redirecting her by throwing that treat on the floor. Instead of pawing at her from behind, dog went over and got something else. And I can say yes, because she came to me, even though I didn't call her to. It's desired behavior. So petting with a purpose is, celebrating is when the dog does the thing on its own without us asking. Petting with a purpose is the other side of the coin. So if Margo comes up and paws at me, nudges at me, barks at me, she's telling me what to do. So instead of following her order, I'm going to tell her to sit or lay down. If she does within 2 seconds, I'm going to pet her, mark it, and pet her. If she doesn't within 2 seconds of the first time I say it, I'm going to lean back and disengage and watch TV or do something else. Now, if she's jumping and pawing up on you, again, that probably means that we needed to exercise her. So just throw a treat on the ground or do something to redirect her, and then ask her to do a couple things you want, then take her outside and exercise her for a walk or whatever and come back. But for regular petting with a person, she's just saying, I want your attention. So she paws at you, you say sit. If she listens, she gets a reward. If she doesn't sit, then you're showing her that you got other things going on. Remember, playing hard to get works great for dog training. After a while, if she's already sitting here, tell her she's got to sit here or here. She has to do something to change her state to earn your affection. And after a while, she's going to come and start sitting down to prepay for that attention. When she does, make sure you pet and recognize and reward that. Use the word paycheck. So if I'm petting her and she's standing, somebody might suspect that I forgot to pet her with the purpose. They say paycheck, I stop petting her and tell her to sit. If she sits, then I would say yes and pet her and tell the person, actually, when you flush the toilet, she stood up and I continued petting her. But thanks, I do forget to pet with a purpose, without a purpose. So celebrate means you're missing an opportunity to reward the dog for something we want. Paycheck means I think you're accidentally petting the dog. So even if you do it right, you stop petting the dog, tell it to do what you want or something you want and let it do it. Now remember to use that rapid fire treating. If she's not paying attention to you, do as many of the best cue that she has in like 10 seconds. Just try to boom, 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 boom. And all of a sudden she's not focused on anything but you. She likes to go, she has difficulty going straight into a down. So I would emphasize that. Walk in the room, down, and then treat her from the other hand. Mimic your hand like you have a treat, and when she gets down, treat her from the other hand. And then walk in the next room and do the same thing. And after a while, you say, "Duh," and she's down. And so what we're doing is we're helping her understand this is something that we want, and we're helping her practice the down without the sit first. We also went over a hand targeting exercise. We also went over the It's Your Choice game. Now, the It's Your Choice game, when we're doing this, if you forget any of these, message me and I'm happy to send you a video. If the camera is the dog's nose, what we do for It's Your Choice is the treat is moving this way. We're starting at the dog's nose level. I'm going to put treats in my hand and close my hand. When the dog looks at my hand, I say yes. Then I open the hand, take one treat out and give it to the dog. Then I close my hand. And if I'm doing this, I would like to move it about an inch closer. But if the dog gets up, we don't want to close her hand and take it away. That's a punishment. It is, even though it's a small one, it is a punishment. So if that's the case, I might open it. When it looks, treat, close it. They look at it again. Yes, open it, treat. I might do 3 or 4 at the same distance. But eventually I want to move it here, then here, then here, then here. Eventually I'm moving it all the way right in front of the dog's nose. Open your hand. The dog looks at it. I don't have to go get it because you're taking the treat out and giving it to me. And we're helping the dog practice that in smaller steps, getting more and more lifelike or more intense as it gets closer to them. That's really the emphasis of a lot of the things we went over here today, is setting the dog up for success by exercising it properly, starting at a low level and helping it achieve a level of success, and then gradually raising the rates and making it, working our way back up to a real world situation. So what I would like to do is come back in about a month and go to a park where there's going to be some dogs there, so we can actually help the dog practice engaging with the dog and disengaging with the dog and be rewarded for doing it instead of spazzing out and pulling around. Let me think, what else? Snuffle mats, make sure you order one of those and you can wash it, but use that for the meals. And again, she's going to probably go a day or two not eating. Not that she's defiant. Some dogs do that, but it's usually just because there's always going to be food there. So leave the bowl empty. It should probably go crash it. If she does, you can put it up. But after a day or two, she's going to start eating when you ask her to eat. And that makes that regularity, like we talked about earlier, is going to be really beneficial. Anything else you want me to talk about?
No, I think that's it. I think that covers a lot of what we talked about.
Okay. Margo. Margo. I've had some really good treats here. We call this stuff crack.
Yeah, that's the good
Look at that. Look how fast she came over for that. Yes. We sit. Remember, only say it once. Yes. This is my buddy Margo, and this is Margo's roadmap to success. You want to come over here? I don't know if you're in the shot. I can't see. We don't have a camera person. We need Kendall Sayer here. Sit. Sit. Yes. This is Margo, and this is Margo's roadmap to success. Remember, everything you do trains your dog. Only sometimes you mean it.